We also had that example of AI in Fallout 4.
Yes. Yeah, this is a completely different version of that, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody made this the other day. This goes with the gaming discussion that's going on right now.
Yeah. So this guy
says the flatness bothered him.
He basically, if you're listening rather than watching, he edited Ella Purnell's character to wear skin-tight leggings and also changed her body proportions to give her a fat ass. Basically.
She's working out down there.
Yeah, and this angered a lot of people, but one person said, to be fair, modding Fallout to make characters look like this after release is a tradition as old as time.
It's true.
But others were really angry. One said Ella Purnell should be given legal authority to this guy.
What?
Another one said Fallout fans, when they realize real women don't look like their modded, hypersexualized Barbie doll maximum jiggle physics anime waifu Fallout 4 character.
Cry hard.
They can look like that.
They can look like that.
I don't know the game, so is that something
that
that's
would
in the
be
game?
what the mods would look like,
but not the original.
I'm sorry,
release.
but that what you see on the right there is no different than something you'll see on Instagram if you open Instagram right now. If you're a dude,
right?
So,
But then I guess it's like, why not just open Instagram?
Yeah.
Well, they're intentionally.
Not that I see stuff like that on my timeline. I'm
Right.
just saying it exists.
Right.
I've heard stories.
You've heard from many people.
From many people, they tell me about this all the time. I've never looked.
Yes.
Everyone knows they're intentionally de-sexifying their traditional characters and upping the sexiness of traditionally overlooked types of characters. This is, do you want to go into the Stellar Blade conversation, or is it too early?
No, go for it.
Well, we were saying off air, like Stellar Blade is a game with, a lot of people are angry, I guess, on the left because it's a traditionally sexy character or something, even though it's a scan of a real woman and it's worked on by female developers. They wanted to create a character that was visually appealing or whatever. And a lot of the lefties are complaining that this is objectification and all that stuff. But I see an obvious paradox because they praise Baldur's Gate 3, in which you can have sex, make your whole party naked and run around the whole game, the whole campaign naked. There's gay sex, straight sex, all kinds of weird stuff. You can have sex with a bear as a gay vampire, as I do in my daily life. And they don't mind that. They just want it to be like rainbow flavored, I guess. They don't want, like the Lara Croft example. Everybody says Lara Croft has been de-sexified over the years. Who cares, Lara Croft? I think they're boring games anyway. But the idea of we're going to make a character that's visually appealing, I think is especially ironic because lady gamers, and some lady gamers checked me on this, lady gamers are jealous of sexy characters. Whereas if I play as a beefy Conan type of guy...
Do you think it's lady gamers or lady game developers?
All right, so lady gamers... I really question like how many of them are going to be playing, say, Stellar Blade. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess like next to none. Yeah. The stereotype is that a lot of lady gamers, they call themselves gamers, but they only play games like Candy Crush or something like that. Whatever. I'm not even going to make that argument right now. Let's say that they're going to play Stellar Blade, or they would, but she's too sexy and that makes me jealous. The idea of a female developer saying like, I don't want to have a character that's too visually appealing doesn't make any sense business-wise. Who's going to bother playing a game where your character looks like some guy on the street? Yeah. I want to play as Conan. I want to be a beefy, huge dude if I'm swinging a huge sword.
Men find it aspirational. Women are offended by it.
Not all of them, but yeah, there is a stereotype.
Strokes,
But yeah, I was checked on this. I know lady gamers, and they play like real games, not like phone games. I was playing with my wife. We've been playing like Stardew Valley or even Yakuza, like a dragon. We have a great time. But we don't have this hang-up, which is a fake hang-up anyway. If I'm going to play a game and I am this main character, I'm playing as a character. I know I'm playing as a character.
Which is where the argument about representation comes in and why
it's ridiculous.
It even matters. So I was watching this thing today. I don't remember who the actress was. She won an award. It was one of the ladies from Black Panther, I think. It might have been, or maybe it was Lupita Nyong'o. It's talking about how she loved Titanic growing up, and she had a huge crush on Leo. I was like, so does that mean that you have the next person who plays Rose can't be Kate Winslet, has to look like you for you to love this movie, this character. You know what I'm saying? Like that actually disproves the idea that representation is inherently useful in those situations. Because if it's done right, you should identify as loving the character, not needing to have something necessarily in common with the character. If anything, the characters I want to see the most are the ones that have as little to do with me as possible, because I don't live an interesting enough life to be made a movie out of.
Well, I grew up watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies. Like, little did I know they were Asian. I can't believe I was tricked. I grew up. I loved Blade. You remember that filth? Did you know that Blade is a black man?
I couldn't believe that.
I watched that movie like 50 times and I never knew he was black. I was tricked. I can't have that.
And it's just
racially
sad that all that stuff was just so normal back then, and now it's just
disgusting.
It's so disgusting.
They all should have been Greek, obviously, in order to represent you
everyone
accurately.
wants to be Greek. Let's be honest. We invented everything, and I know there's going to be a super chat saying you invented gayness too.
Whoa.
He's like, yeah, that was before my time.
You preempted that one.
No, because I've heard it a million times. But first of all, you've never met a Greek woman. We invented gayness to get away from the women. It was necessary.
He's like, look, I saw my big fat Greek wedding.
Everybody is jealous of the Greeks. I understand. They stole everything from us. Culture, civilization, philosophy, whatever. Democracy. America ruined democracy.
I see this stuff, and I just see a whole bunch of political discussion where there just doesn't need to be any in things like this for the games, because they're taking offense where no offense was intended.
No.
A beautiful character is not made to make you feel insecure. It's made because the height of beauty is what people want to see in things that they go and seek out. At least that has been true for all of time. I would let's talk about a market that's not having a discussion right now. Like, is there like a big push for like ugly women on OnlyFans? Like, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are women that do fine that are ugly, but is there really like does somebody get into the business and their manager is like, you know what you should do? You should get ugly. Like, you'll make more. You'll enter that top 0.1% in no time if you just take like 3 points off your hotness factor. I don't think that that's a thing.
In porn, it's different
fetish,
than other medium, but I get what point you're trying to make.
Well, look, if we're making a game, let's say we're a development studio, and we're going to make a game with a cool main character that players are going to want to play as. You can make a game where you can customize your own main character, design like Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if you're familiar. You can make your own character, and it was very... you can make any character from any race or whatever size. You can be creative, or you're going to create a character that you cannot customize, like, say, Lara Croft or something. You have to make them visually appealing, because if I'm just shopping for games and there's 10 games that come out this year or this month, and I have to pick, I only have enough money to buy 2 of them, I'm going to pick the one that looks cool. And that's how most people buy their games. Yeah. Like, if you took, like, I would argue the Stellar Blade example. I would not play Stellar Blade. First of all, I'm not interested in, it's based on like Nier Automata, if you've ever heard of that, which I didn't like. But it's a genre that doesn't necessarily appeal to me. But if you took a game with a cool main character, and it was a genre that I wasn't necessarily interested in, but I want to play as the character, maybe I'll try it out. Yeah. But if it's a cool game with a mid-looking character that I'm not interested in playing as, however, I saw a mod for Horizon Zero Dawn, a fat mod, where you could play as the redhead main character, and she was like 400 pounds, and I pissed myself laughing. And I said I would pay full price, unironically, if they made that game. I want to play as that character, and we're all going to have a good time. Nobody's judging. Like in GTA 3, you can eat a lot of hamburgers and make your character huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do men want to, when they play video games, do they ever want to play characters that are hot chicks? Because that seems a little bit autogynephilic.
Here's the thing now. I understand why you would say that. When I played WoW back in the day, I made a lady character because I said, if I'm going to stare at someone's butt for 200 hours, it's going to be a woman. Now, that was the straightest decision I ever made, I would argue. I was not that main character, but I was controlling her because if we're talking about relationship advice, a man needs to control his woman, right? So I'm playing WoW. I need to control this woman. She needs to be hot, beautiful, paladin, action, and I'm like above her, like the puppet master. Go slay those goblins for me, woman.
As an alpha male often does.
Bring me a sandwich, woman. Yes? So
Perfect.
autogynephilia, I can see why you would say that. I'm sure there are trans people who played female characters. I've played many games
I think
with
it
female
might be
characters.
contributing to the trans phenomenon.
Yeah, I did find myself wearing a dress while playing that character
He's
sometimes.
like, but that was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Just a coincidence.
It was very arousing.
You were still an
now that I think
alpha.
about it.
Okay.
I'm very alpha.
Obviously.
I'm so alpha, I will only be in a locker room sauna with other men,
Of course.
taking photos.
Well, you're not going to let women in your presence.
No,
doing that. That's
they're
ridiculous.
beneath
That's
us,
really
women.
beta to do something like that.
I don't even want
alpha
to talk
does
to
that.
women.
I did watch the first episode of Fallout last night, just because you were trashing it. I was curious, and yeah, I was more
didn't-
bothered
look,
by.
I didn't think I was trashing it. I thought I offered some reasonable
You offered
criticisms.
reasonable criticism.
Okay.
Yes, but it wasn't good in my opinion. I was more bothered though by that non-binary character that you were mentioning.
That they just threw out there, where
Who's in this-
where there was they teed up a place where there could have been a big old he, and they said they.
Yeah, the character has they them pronouns.
But when
and
I point that
everything.
out, I acknowledge that is something that somebody who lives in the political space will notice right away. Is not necessarily going to ruin it for somebody who's just a passive observer.
I don't know. I think a passive observer knows, like, I'm not looking at a man right now.
And I do want to point out that people pointed out to me and to you, like in the comments, why I was wrong about, like, I don't want ugly people on screen. I get it. That you said it's from like inbreeding because of the apocalypse and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't make sense because Ella Purnell is attractive.
Why is the main somehow skipped all the inbreeding physiognomy and looks perfectly fine, and everyone else doesn't? I get it. It's art, whatever. But I would have rather they committed to the bit and just made Ella look more, look inbred as well than like the rest of them. Because otherwise, you look at one really, really traditionally attractive character. And then everybody else there isn't, and it just took me out of it. But the explanation as to why they do makes sense. So I was wrong about that. That's fine. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.